political general interest show we call KORERO. And we hope you've enjoyed our lineup of programs thus far on Rapid TV. Don't forget, we are channel 176 on Star Times. We are streaming live on our website, www.rbnradiotv.com, and of course on Facebook and on YouTube. So we're with you anywhere you go, all right? And of course, awesome conversations this morning on our breakfast show, Rapid Dawn, and our team in Umahia, awesome conversations, all of that building up to what promises to be quite an interesting session of programs right here on Rapid TV. Well, today on KORERO, we will be looking at the deepening rift and ongoing power tussle in the Labour Party. But before we get into that conversation, as always, I just want to remind you that the show is live and interactive on all our social media platforms, and you can do well to follow developments on Rapid TV and, of course, on KORERO simply by following and liking Rapid TV on all our social media platforms. We are at official Rapid TV. Like I like to say, even when the show goes off the air, the conversation continues online. So become part of our growing online community and engage us, okay? And engage the conversation. Maybe at some point, I know for some time now, the studio lines have not, we've not given you, our viewers, the opportunity to engage live on the show via our studio line, but let's see how today goes. No guarantees, no guarantees. As always, I'm your regular host, Nkamiang John, the beloved, also known as the controversial. Now, let me give you a background to today's conversation. Very interesting background. Now, according to sources within the Labour Party, while the Labour Party National Chairman Julius Abure and his loyalists have yet to acknowledge this, it is important to note that Peter Obi and Alex Oti, the governor of Abia State, had extended Abure's tenure by 1 year, but that extension ended in June of 2024. Wow. Now, Abia and Labour Party State Governor Alex Oti had sometime last week convened a crucial stakeholders meeting in Umahia, the Abia State capital, in a bid to address the party's leadership crisis. But the absence of Abure and other top officials like the National Secretary Umar Farouk and National Youth Leader Kennedy Ahanotu from that meeting in Umahia only underscored the growing rift within the party. Now, the crisis engulfing the Labour Party took a new dimension after the National Executive Committee, led by Julius Abure, rejected the caretaker committee led by Nenadi Usman, describing it as null and void, and said no more automatic tickets to the party's presidential flag bearer in the 2023 election, a national leader, former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, and of course, the governor of the only Labour Party state in the entire 36 states of the Federation, Dr. Alex Oti, that the party no longer will give them automatic tickets in the build-up to the 2027 election. Interesting conversation, right? Well, following a meeting by the Abure-led NEC, the committee changed its previous stance regarding the automatic tickets for Peter Obi and, of course, Dr. Alex Oti for the 2027 election. The National Executive Council has now announced that these nominations will be open to all candidates. Abure described the meeting led by Oti and Obi in Abia State as a betrayal and disvisionary, aimed at installing new leadership without the National Executive Council's authority or consent. Okay. Well, Labour Party chieftain Yunusa Tanko, in his opinion, said that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is the only body that can decide whether the recent intervention in the party by Governor Alex Oti of Abia State and Peter Obi is legal. Now, the intervention of both Governor Oti and the former governor of Anambra State and national leader of the party, Peter Obi, who was the presidential candidate of the party in the 2023 election, saw the composition of a 29-man caretaker committee to lead the party in the interim. Now, the committee is to be chaired by former Minister of Finance, Nenadi Usman, a former Senate Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Darlington Nwokocha, was also appointed as the secretary of the committee, which the party leaders that gathered at the meeting summoned by OT said will midwife an election of new leadership in 90 days. Other members representing various interest groups include the NLC, TUC, Senate, House of Representatives, House of Assemblies, and gubernatorial candidates in the last election were also part of that committee. However, the Julius Abure-led leadership of the party has rejected that committee in a statement signed by the publicity secretary of the party, Obiora Ifo, saying that the meeting was not organized by the party and therefore does not reflect the position or interest of the party and its leadership. Adding that the so-called chairman of the caretaker committee is not a registered member of the Labour Party and asked Nigerians to disregard the outcome. So, let's hear the embattled Labour Party national chairman, Julius Abure, give some light to his disposition and the disposition of his National Executive Council to this development, especially as they have rejected the caretaker committee, the 29-man caretaker committee as constituted in that meeting in Abia State. Let's hear it.
Then the man Abure had gone haywire to castigate this meeting for bringing out this finest chap to lead the party for now in order to conduct a proper convention for the party.
The National Working Committee also notes that assuming without conceding that the tenure of the current National Working Committee has even expired, we must state clearly that it is not the responsibility of Dr. Alex Oti as governor of Abia State to convene a NEC meeting for the purposes of setting up a caretaker committee. It is still the responsibility of the national chairman and the national secretary of the party to convene such a meeting. The party will not hesitate henceforth to discipline any member of the party, however highly placed, who is not ready to obey the constitution of the party and indeed obey the lawful directive of the leadership of the party. In this regard, the National Working Committee went ahead to set up a standing disciplinary committee. Consequently, it is our view that for anybody to hold the opinion that there is a vacuum in the leadership of the party is not only mischievous, but a deliberate attempt to cause panic, to cause chaos, and to disrupt the smooth workings of our great party, the Labour Party.
All right, that was the Labour Party national chairman, Julius Abure, rejecting the 29-man committee to lead the party in the interim. Of course, now let's look at some reactions. There have been developments, various reactions to this development. In a bold move, Senator Ireti Kingibe, who represents the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) in the National Assembly, has thrown her weight behind the newly constituted 29-member caretaker committee established by key Labour Party stakeholders, including the party's national leader, Peter Obi, and, of course, Abia State Governor Alex Otti. Now, Senator Kingibe clarified her stand on the current Labour Party leadership struggle, pointing out that the tenure of the national chairman, Julius Abure, and his National Working Committee, NWC, had officially expired in June of 2023. A fact she emphasized and said that it's well known within the party. We will confirm that shortly because I have a very important guest in the studio. We've had conversations on this relating to Abure and the Labour Party in the past. She's an insider, so she will confirm because Abure has continued to deny and in fact shifted the ball to the doorpost of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to truly determine whether his tenure has expired or not. However, Senator Kingibe dismissed claims of a deep crisis within the Labour Party, insisting that the action of Obi and Oti and the other stakeholders were fully aligned with the party's constitution and INEC guidelines. Again, my guest will confirm this. As the Labour Party navigates its leadership challenges, Senator Kingibe's endorsement of the Caretaker Committee signals strong support for the reformist faction led by Peter Obi and Alex Otti. Of course, I think last week I had the opportunity of speaking with the chairman of the Labour Party in Abia State, and I asked, are there factions in Labour Party? He said no, that the party is together. But from developments, well, my guess will clear the air. Well, according to Kingibe, she has further intensified the pressure on Abure and his allies to step aside and pave the way for the new leadership. But let's hear the position of former governor of Anambra State, national leader of the party, and 2023 presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party in the person of Peter Obi. His remarks at that 29-man committee stakeholder meeting that held in Abia State.
Honorable members, Labour leaders, let me very respectfully stand on all the and these simple goals. Your Excellency, I have to start by thanking you for that very, very detailed elucidation of our position, so that people know we're not here to resolve, we're not here to suspend or sack anybody. And like I always say, even in this new one we're doing, whatever we're going to do in future, everybody, including those who are not were part of yesterday, can participate. Everybody is free. We're not asking anybody. We just want to do it properly. So if you're chairman in a state, you want to contest again, we'll vote for you or vote against you, whichever one. We're not saying you're no longer qualified. It's just simple. It's just that we have to do it properly. That's what has been stated here. And again, in going forward, I must appeal. In going forward, let everybody listen to this sacrifice. When we talk about, dear governor had mentioned it, about the issue of caretaker or issue of this. We're just trying to set up just a small committee that will help to do what we want, the right thing, which will be just a period of maybe 120 days. We want everything we're going to do to end as quickly as possible, so that we'll be able to know what we're doing. So we're not trying to set up another leadership. No, we're not trying to do this. It's just a system that will help to get to where we're going. That's what we want to do. Not another group that can become a problem for everybody, but a group that will solve the problem. And we want everybody to embrace this. That's what we want to do. We're going to do one simple thing. We have said we're going to set up a caretaker committee to be able to go into resolving this. And we're just going to do a 29-member committee. The reason is that the work is good. This party today is the third biggest party in Nigeria. And I can tell you, have the brightest future of all the parties in Nigeria, if we do the right thing. This committee will be chaired by Senator Nenadi Usman. And the secretary will be Senator Darlington Okocha. I think we're all in agreement. Thank you and God bless you.
All right. Labour Party's national leader and 2023 presidential flag bearer, Peter Obi, giving his remarks at the recently constituted 29-member caretaker committee established by key Labour Party stakeholders, including Abia State Governor Alex Otti. Now, joining me to discuss the deepening rift and ongoing power tussle in the Labour Party is the Labour Party's former, I wish I didn't have to put that word former, because let me be honest. Beyond the Labour Party's expedition during the 2023 election as led by its national leader, Peter Obi, who was the arrowhead of the party. And that's why I agree with Dr. Peter Obi that the Labour Party is the third largest party, political party in Nigeria, because we saw the veracity of the obedience. Shortly after the 2023 elections, one person, my guest in this studio, was the lone voice in the wilderness. If she was a man, I would have said she was the John the Baptist, but she's the female John the Baptist, who was crying that there were a lot of irregularities, misappropriation with regards to the finances of the party. So joining me live here in the studio is the former national treasurer of the Labour Party, Oluchi Okpara. Oluchi, thank you for honoring our invitation on very short notice. I know you're a very busy woman, but thank you so much for making our time to be on the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to you. Good morning, Nigerians. You said you regret to refer to me as the former national treasurer. Well, of course, every office must, when it begins, must always have an end. And in Nigeria, you cannot stay in office for more than 4 years. And in our own case, we have actually stayed for 5 years. We shouldn't even be in the first place because we came on board 2019, and by 2023, our office was supposed to have left office, but because of the judiciary, the courts, the presidential judiciary, so we are in and out of the court. So that was why we had to ask for an extension by 1 year, which by that 2029 plus the 1 year came to an end on the 8th of June of this year. So we have stayed for 5 years. So it's not a lifetime something. So everything that has a beginning must always have an end.
Oluchi, by this statement, you are saying, confirming the position of Senator Kingibe and what many, the stakeholders of the party have said, that the Justice Abure NWC tenure has ended.
Yes, I am speaking from a place of authority and strength because I am part of that NWC that has ended. So to tell Nigerians, to tell the whole world that our tenure has elapsed. And we can't continue to have a party without a leadership. There must be a sense of direction. There must be. In fact, if you even follow the trend of what had happened a few weeks back, Abure was at INEC as every other political chairman and leaders were. And Abure was shown an exit door to leave because he was not invited, because he is no longer known to INEC as the national chairman.
But he's claiming that it is only INEC that can either authenticate, one, the 29-man caretaker committee that has been instituted by stakeholders of the party, and two, really confirmed that his tenure has expired.
It's the same INEC that showed him an exit door. In fact, if you had followed, because I was going to land on my thought, some event that took place, other political parties were invited except for Labour Party, because INEC we don't have a leadership. That was why INEC never bothered to invite anybody from the Labour Party. And again, that's why you saw our leaders talking about His Excellency Dr. Alex Chomoti, Mr. Peter Obi, the VP, and senators and the reps. They came together and said, no, they can't allow the party to be without a known leadership. That was why we had what we had in Abia State, bringing on board persons of reputable character in the person of Senator Nenadi Usman and Senator Darlington and others to now do the needful, that will now do congresses from both ward, from the ward level to local government level to the state, now down to the national convention, so that the party will have a sense of leadership and direction.
So you're throwing your weight, just as Senator Ireti Gingibe, behind the 29-man caretaker committee established by...
Of course, with my full chest. My full chest. I have to support what is right. If it wasn't right, anybody that knows me too well know that I stand for the truth. What they have done the right thing. Because constitutionally, Dr. Alex Chomoti is a delegate to both NEC and the convention, so he has done what is expected of him to do. Because it shouldn't be at the place and he allowed the party to go down the drain. No, it shouldn't happen. So he has done what was expected of him to do and others. So I'm in support of what they have done.
So, but why is a Julius Abure, the party's national secretary, the party's publicity secretary, and other executives, because it seems you are the only one that has, chosen to play by the rules. Why have this set of leaders, quote and unquote, or embattled leaders, chosen to hold on to the saddle and say, look, until otherwise? I mean, imagine the national chairman of the party coming out to call what happened in Umahia, Abia State, null and void, saying that it was an attempt to disillusion members of the public and the party, and then suggesting that the activities of key stakeholders of the party was illegal.
Number one, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I abide by the rule. Julius Abure and cohorts, I'm convinced, I can speak from a place of authority to say that I'm convinced to be able to dictate when they're trying to dance to the tune of their paymasters. Julius Abure and cohorts, they know too well that what they are doing is them trying to play the interests of their paymasters. How do you call the gathering in Umahia, where we have caliber of men? The governor was there.
The only
P2B
Labour
was there.
Party governor.
The only governor of Labour Party was there. P2B was there. Senators were there. Reps members were there. Abba Abure, you should know too well. And I was reliably informed that Abure he had his birthday party at the National Secretariat of Labour Party, purportedly referred to as NEC, and he couldn't even attract a single member from our elected members. He couldn't even attract anybody, and he calls that a NEC meeting. No, what we had in Umahia is what we call a proper NEC meeting. Gathering.
Okay. Let's look critically at what is happening. Is there a rift? As I said, I spoke with the chairman of the Labour Party in Abia State. I've spoken to other party faithfuls, and they say no, there's no rifts, there's no tussle, it's just the party trying. But from those of us who are watching from the outside, there seems to be a deepening rift, because now the party looks fractionalized. Is the Labour Party fractionalized? Because now you have an Abure and his cohorts, using your words, then you have stakeholders made up of the national leader, the governor of the, the only Labour Party governor, senators, reps on one side. That's from the outside, looks as if the party is being fractionalized. And then you use the word paymasters. Are you suggesting that Julius Abure is being sponsored to create mayhem in the Labour Party?
Emphatically, yes, I believe so. Because no reasonable person will want to destroy what he has built. Before now, the party was nowhere until the coming of Mr. Peter Obi. So I see no reason why Abure, by the way, he said something that Mr. Peter Obi and Alex Oti will no longer have automatic tickets.
Yeah.
Abure, who are you to say so? You don't have a tenor, Mr. Abure. You don't have any rights, any moral or legal backing to say what you said because you don't have a tenor. So it all depends on the people that will not
He's no longer recognized as the leadership of the party.
recognized as the leader of the Labour Party. So I don't know where he got all his powers from. But of course, I know even a blind could see that Abure is being sponsored. He's doing the bidding of his paymasters.
When you say paymasters, some will wonder, who are these paymasters? Are you suggesting that other political parties are in some way sponsoring this tussle?
Abure does both PDP and APC. So whatever he says money coming from, that's where Abure focuses on.
But isn't that considered anti-party?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But does he have a conscience? He doesn't. He does that to please himself so long as he smiles to the bank.
Wow. Well, talking about smiling to the bank, as I said, my guest has been the lone voice crying in the wilderness about issues of finance and misappropriation. Well, in a dramatic turn of events, the deepening rift and ongoing power tussle in the Labour Party is not only the only thing the Labour Party National Chairman, Justice Abure, has to worry about, as the party's former National Treasurer, who we have here in the studio, Oluchi Akpara, has challenged him to account for the 3.5 billion, not million, billion naira campaign fund he misappropriated and stopped attacking the party's national leader and the 2023 presidential flag bearer in the person of the former governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Dr. Peter Obi. Now, reacting to this allegation, the Labour Party National Chairman, Justice Abure, has said that Aisha Yusufu and Pastor Itua Igodalo managed the party's campaign funds in 2023. Now, Abure said Yusuf and Igodalo were signatories to the Labour Party 2023 campaign fund and not the party, as was widely speculated, and dismissed claims of the Labour Party mismanaging its funds. Let's hear him make his position. And of course, the former National Treasurer is here to either confirm or debunk the embattled National Party Chairman's claims.
Itself. The party was never involved in the distribution of those resources. Our interest was to see how we can produce a president for the party. However it was done, we didn't bother ourselves about it. Hence we gave them free hands. Whoever they trusted, whoever they wanted to entrust their resources to, we didn't want to bother ourselves with it. We followed them sheepishly. We followed them loyally and allowed them to administer the funds of the campaign for the election and so on and so forth. As per the donation, the party was not involved in the collection of any donation, campaign donations. Donations to the campaign were channeled to the following accounts: Obi Dati Ahmed campaign account, Zenith Bank 124-195-0451, Sterling Bank 0091657896, Heritage Bank 1400234900, Globus Bank 1000128194. The signatories to these accounts were Aisha Yusuf and Pastor Itwa Igodalo. They were equally responsible for the payment of polling unit agents. The party did not even bother to pay its agents. We handed over the list to the campaign council and to those who were administering these funds to pay polling unit agents that worked for the presidential election. Consequently, it is mischievous for any person to accuse me at the party for mismanaging of these funds. At no time did the party or its officials engage in any financial transaction.
All right, we apologize for the amateur video, but at least we've established the fact that the reaction of the embattled national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, as he claimed that the party had no play or no hand in how the funds generated during the 2023 general election and presidential elections were spent. However, reacting to Abure in a post on her official X account, formerly Twitter, on Tuesday morning, Aisha Yusufu refuted Abure's claim. Aisha Yusufu wrote, and I quote, "Julius Abure thinks we are still in 1980, where one can lie shamelessly without being fact-checked," end of quote. She also accompanied her tweet with the post you are seeing on the screen right now, with pictures of the 2023 election campaign donation flyer, which captured the details. Now, the Obi Dati 2023 presidential campaign team also has dismissed claims by the embattled fractional national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, that only Aisha Yusufu and Peter Itwa Igodalo superintended over the management of campaign funds of the Peter Obi presidential campaign for the elections. Now, the allegation and counter-allegation comes 6 months after Yusufu announced that the fundraising team received donations totaling 596 million naira from party supporters, obedient movement, and well-meaning Nigerians across the globe. She added that Obi also spent 744,500,000 on litigation following his loss in the 2023 presidential election. Now, I'm happy I have the money woman of the party or former money woman of the party who has the numbers, and she will be able to clarify this. Oluchi, who's telling the truth when it comes to the issue of party funds? Because I know this is the second time we're having this conversation.
Yes.
The first time you appeared on the show was when you raised the issue of the fact that Abure has not accounted for 3.5 billion naira. I remember asking you, are you sure it's not million? You said
billion.
no, billion naira.
Yes.
And that has now been confirmed by that post by Aisha Yusufu, because obedience across the world paid minimum of 1,000 naira, to support the 2023 presidential and general election of Dr. Peter Obi. So please, who's telling the truth?
I'm surprised because even me, I, as the former national treasurer of the party, I made a video using the same account soliciting for fund. The 1K challenge that we did, I made a video soliciting for fund. I don't know if Abure, I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. Why will he come and deceive Nigerians that there was nothing like campaign fund? Of course, we did have a campaign fund which we managed within the party. And again, the issue of 3.5 billion naira that I came out to tell the public, I'm still maintaining my ground. I don't know why Abure wants to shift the blame on him, instead of him to come out to explain to Nigerians what had happened to the money generated. Instead, he's trying to attack, to do a campaign against the man, Mr. Peter Obi, a man that gave him, a man that gave him life. Because before now, Abure was nowhere. Nobody knew who Abure was. We all know ourselves. The party was nowhere until the coming of Mr. Peter Obi. So, and I also listened to, I took my time to listen to Aisha's this thing when she came out to make a video of what had happened with the finances. Yes. And I discovered that she said in her video that she gave the party Abure about, that I stand to be corrected, 303 million naira for the party. And I'm wondering, where did that money even go to? Because
You were not aware
I
of
was
that.
not even aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. I could remember that time, prior to the election, I would call Abure. Abure, what's up? Abure would not take my call for the next 1 week until I started hearing rumors that this, that, until Aisha now came out to confirm the same rumor we all heard. And again, Abure was making claims that the agents were not paid. Aisha also said that the names of the agents on the list Abure gave to him were fake agents, fake names that never tallied with.
So the campaign committee verified. Let me borrow the words of Dr. Peter Obi. It verified the list
Yes.
of agents
Yes.
as forwarded by the national chairman of
yes.
the party as of that time.
Yes, and they verified and they found out that the names were fake people. And at that instant, according to what Aisha said, they had to stop the payments of for agents.
Of the so-called agent.
So-called agent. So I'm thinking, Abure, what he would have done, if he was a reasonable person, would have been for him to even like allow an independent auditor to audit that same account, and also the same account that he forged the signature of the late national chairman should be reactivated, so that we will now know how the dead man came from his death to come and sign a check with which Abure himself, at that time, was the secretary of the party, used that same the man's signature to withdraw money from the account, and now he wants to shift the blame, to shift attention, to smear the character of the man P2B that gave him life. Abure, that is the height of ingratitude on Abure's part, because we all know who Abure was.
But why was it that at the onset, when you began to bring to the fore this misappropriation, this embezzlement, why was it that you were the only voice? Where were the other stakeholders of the party? Why didn't you get the support to because I know you went through several ordeals. At a point, you had to face a panel of inquiry, a purported set up. It was as if you were, it was Oluchi versus Abure. But in recent times, we've seen that has changed. Why were you the only voice at first?
Once you stand for the truth, stand firm, because no matter how long it takes, truth must always prevail. When I came out public, I was speaking from a place of authority, because I had intimate idea of what the account of the Labour Party was. Even though Abure never allowed me to see what was happening with the accounts, I only got to know that the party made a huge sums when he came to my house with a fake audit report that had about 2-point-something billion naira. Then, as at that time, we were also preparing.
I don't understand. He came to you with an audit report
of about 2 points.
The account had been audited, and you, as the treasurer,
I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even part of it.
Of the
I was not part of
exercise.
it. So he came with the audit report to my house, asking me to pen my signature. And as at that time, we were preparing for elections in Kogi, Imo State, and Bayelsa. Even this Edo was already kickstarting by that time. So by that time, we already got over 900 million. So plus the 2-point-something billion he came for me to append my signature on, by the way, with a car gift, with promises of house and some cash. And I said, no, I want to see what is happening with the Labour Party finances first. If anybody is not going to speak, I want to be that one woman that will speak and write my name on gold. So that was how, and of course, Abure began doing a campaign against me that I'm being sponsored and this and that and that. Of course, people tend to they want to be like, I don't know where this man was coming from. Is she actually being sponsored? So that was why it appeared as though I was the lone voice in the wilderness. But I'm grateful to God for today that God has vindicated me. Yes, I'm being justified. And even when Abure was also told by INEC that he's no longer recognized, Abure kept on hiding it until I went so far to get INEC to write to confirm if Abure was actually or if what they had in Newi was actually recognized by INEC, and INEC responded in a simple term: we are sorry, we cannot report on this because we never monitored it. And why did INEC not monitor it? Abure wrote to INEC because they have always claimed that they met up with 21 days notice to INEC. Even if you make 1 million days, so long as there are other criteria that you ought to meet that you never met, INEC will still not monitor it, or will still not
oblige your request.
Exactly. So what Abure never didn't understand, because You're supposed to, whatsoever change you want to make, you want to effect on any this thing you have given to INEC, you must have at least 7 days notice. But INEC Abure only met with 6 days, met up with 6 days, and the delegates, you're supposed to elect delegates from the ward to the local government, to the whatever level, before you can now think of going into a national convention. So there was no such notice to INEC, no delegates election, nothing of
So
such.
INEC couldn't monitor the entire process.
That was why INEC, in his wisdom, in their wisdom, refused to monitor. And I want to commend INEC for upholding democracy in that regards, because oftentimes INEC have been tongue-lashed, and I think they now want to start doing the right thing. And I want to commend the INEC chairman.
Well, now let's look at recent events. The Labour Party, or let me ask you, how confident are you that the Labour Party's candidate, Olumide Akpata, in the upcoming off-circle governorship election in Edo State, will secure victory at the polls, especially after the Court of Appeal in Abuja dismissed an appeal asking to disqualify him as the governorship candidate of the Labour Party ahead of the September 21st gubernatorial election in Edo State? How confident are you?
I am confident that Olumide Akpata will emerge because he has worked. He appears to be the only candidate in Edo that has been working. Hard work pays. If you notice, 2 days ago, Mr. Peter Obi was there. As I'm speaking to you today, this morning, our only governor, Dr. Alex Chomo Oti, is also headed to
Benin City.
To Benin City to also campaign with him. He has worked, and people are believing because he's someone that has been tested and is trusted, coupled with his hard work. So I believe strongly that is going to emerge successfully. And I'm also grateful to God that the likes of Abure never accompanied him, because Abure doesn't have a name. Anybody Abure follows for campaign will end up not getting the desired results. So I'm optimistic that Olumide Akpata will come out victoriously on the 21st of September when the election will be.
Are you not in any way rattled by the opposition? I mean, you have an Ighodalo for the PDP. Let's not forget, Edo State is a PDP state, currently under the leadership of Governor Godwin Obaseki, who is doing everything possible to push his party's flag bearer for that election. And then you have another candidate pushed by another heavyweight in the APC, backed by former National Party chairman of the APC, former governor of Edo State, in the person of Senator Comrade Adams Oshomole. And here comes a Olumide Akpata, who's coming from more or less the private sector into politics, and he's riding on a Labour Party that has, yes, built goodwill as a result of the 2023 elections, and of course the national leader Peter Obi. Are you not in any way skeptical that it's going to be a tough race come the 21st of September?
If you would recall, in the last general election, Labour Party retired a whole lot of politicians. So you're talking about Edo State being a PDP state. In Abia State, it was a PDP state, but Governor Alex Chomo Oti came on board. He emerged. So the same thing is also going to happen in Edo State. I'm not even seeing anybody there as far as I'm concerned. Honest, I'm only seeing Olumide Akpata as the only candidate there, because he has shown that he's capable. He has shown everything that's needed to be shown to the public that he is going to be able to do the job. I've seen some persons, some candidates, when they go, in fact, they have been challenged to come on air and express themselves, and they are nowhere to be found. And Olumide has been everywhere.
Some school of thought will argue with you that in the build-up to the appeal court judgment, there has been some fractionalization in the Labour Party in Edo State, especially the confusion with regards to who would eventually be the party's flag bearer in the September 21st gubernatorial election, off-circle gubernatorial election. Don't you think that in a way would have an effect on the credibility of the election in terms of those who naturally initially may have wanted to vote for the Labour Party, but you know, looking at now they probably have the notion that the Labour Party in Edo State is confused.
I don't think so, because even in as much as they were in and out of court, Olumide Akpata has been consistent with his preaching of what he's going to do for the people of Edo State. So people, anybody is free to go to court. At the end of the day, justice prevailed. So I know that the right thing has been done. Justice has been served on the person of Olumide Akpata. So and I'm confident again, because he has worked. I keep saying that when you walk, you chop. If you walk, that's why it's called walk shop. So he has worked. And he's going to reap the fruit of his labor. Yes.
But are you not also worried that the current deepening rift and power tussle in the Labour Party will not have some effect on this off-circle gubernatorial election in Edo State?
I don't think there is any rift in Labour Party as far as I'm concerned. We are one big, happy, indivisible family. Nobody can divide us, because judging from what we had in Umar here, the party has kick-started to doing what's supposed to do. So there is no rifts in the Labour Party, and that is not something that I'm going to worry my small head, my little head over, because the Labour Party has kick-started.
Were there not, in Umar here, was there at any point in time a conversation about the possibility of a merger of the party with, because the conversation of forming a mega party has always been in the offering, especially immediately after the Supreme Court judgment on the presidential election. There have been talks. We've seen your national leader, Dr. Peter Obi, in conversations, suggested positions and dispositions with the likes of Kwankwaso of the NNPP, and of course, former vice president and 2023 presidential flag bearer of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So, in as much as you say that you are one indivisible family, is it possible that in the build-up to 2027 we may see Labour Party merge, or is there any truth to the rumor that your national leader is being lured by other political offerings on the political chess table?
Peter Obi is a brand. He's sellable anytime, any day. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're approaching him. But as far as I'm concerned, what happened in Umar here, to the best of my knowledge, there was never a time the talks of merger was popped up in the open. I didn't hear that. So, of course, even if he meets with the likes of Atiku and Kwankwaso, he's a human being. He has his life to live. So that should not also suggest that he's trying to have talks of merger. Of course, it's a sellable material. So even if they want to, they can come to him, of course. Because if he's on the ballot, it's a win-win. So maybe they want to tap from his grace. Yes. Yes.
Oluchi, what's the future? Especially as we know 2027 is some 3 years away. But already, as far as politics and politicians are concerned, it's already on the table. What do you see? Gaze into your crystal ball. You are probably one of the longest Labour Party members and executives that I know. So, gaze into your crystal ball. Tell me, what does the future foretell for the Labour Party?
I usually allow God to do that, because I'm not God. I don't know what the future holds for us, even in the next second, because God has a final say. But moving forward, if you ask my opinion, I will say that Labour Party is being repositioned to grab power, because if you watch what happened, the trend of last general election, Labour Party actually won the election. But of course, we all saw what happened. And again, having trying to realign ourselves and forge ahead, we are always ready by the grace of God. At the end of the day, We're going to defend our votes. We are going to not allow them do what they did to us in the last election, because everybody, even the cripple, even the blind, everybody know the Labour Party came out and we won the election. Even in Enugu State, where we won the governorship election, it was taken away from us, and a whole lot of places. But I know that again will no longer be possible, because Nigerians are feeling the heat now. Check filling stations. Check the hardship is telling on everybody. In fact, if someone sent me a clip of a man that was shouting Emiloko during the election, trying to commit suicide. So it's biting real hard. The hardship is biting real hard on everybody, and everybody now I now know that they are now willing. They'll be willing to vote and defend their vote, because we are not living in Nigeria. We are all suffering and smiling. So Labour Party will suit and fit in that gap to put smiles on the people of Nigeria.
Well, Oluchi, at this point, I really want to say thank you so much for making our time to be on the show. You have shed a whole lot of light. Why I'm particularly happy that you could make these interviews, because you are an insider. You are part, or were part of that national working committee, the national executive of the party. So you have given us an insider view to what has really happened, and at least Nigerians can judge for themselves who is telling the truth with regards to who is the authentic leader of the party, and whether the move by the national leader and the only Labour Party governor of Dr. Alex Oti,
The only working governor,
you know, has that move to constitute a 29-man committee is in the right direction to, as you said, reposition the Labour Party. Thank you very much.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, folks, it's been a very incisive conversation right here on Rapid TV's continuously evolving social, political, and general interest show, KORERO. As always, we all trust us to keep our ears to the ground and our searchlight beamed on developments as they evolve. Of course, by the special God, we will be back here tomorrow, of course, having another in-depth conversation as we look at the state of the nation. It's one conversation that is relevant at the time in which we find ourselves, and it's a conversation that is consistently going on at all stratas and at all levels. Once again, special thanks to my guest, Oluchi Okpara, former National Treasurer of the Labour Party, and most importantly, my thanks also goes to you for, as always, allowing us be a part of your morning by allowing us have this conversation. But don't forget, you can be part of the conversation simply by following and liking Rapid TV on all our social media platforms. And don't forget to add hashtag KORERO, hashtag Labour Party, hashtag Abure, whatever hashtag you choose to add to the conversation. And at some point, we will get to that point where almost on a daily, we will be taking your reactions on social media on the show. Create a segment specifically to take your reactions. And of course, maybe tomorrow, we'll open the phone lines and get your reactions to conversations, not just on the show tomorrow, but conversations all through the week on the show. All right? So, from me, it's bye for now.